Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
The difference in customs between Sefardim and Ashkenazim throughout the period of the 3 weeks and 9 days. So it is well known that there exist many differences in halacha and minhag between Sefardim and Ashkenazi Jewry, based on the different poskim and the different customs of their lands. And no greater of an area is this disparity highlighted than in the laws of the 3 weeks and 9 days, in which the Ashkenazim take a much stronger and stricter approach in the mourning customs on various factors, while the Sefardim are lenient. We will try to summarize the differences between the two approaches. According to Talmudic law, the discussion mainly focuses on the restrictions applicable on Erev Tishe Beav and Tishe Beav itself, as opposed to the week before or the 9 days and the 3 weeks. And these matters have developed throughout the ages and the times of the Rishonim as halachas and minhagim. So we will now begin the list of differences. Regarding bathing, showering, swimming, the Ashkenazi custom is to avoid doing so throughout the entire period of the 9 days, while the Sefardim only avoid doing so starting from the week of Tishe Beav. The Mechaber in 55116 mentions both opinions, with the Ramah concluding that the Ashkenazi custom is to be stringent, and the Sefardi custom is to be lenient, as writes Yabir Omer in volume 5, Tshuva 41. Regarding Masa Umatan, buying and selling items, the Ashkenazi custom is to avoid doing so throughout the 9 days, while the Sefardi custom is to only avoid doing so on the week of Tishe Beav. This is with exception to items of joy, of which the Mechaber explicitly writes in 5512 that starting from the beginning of the 9 days, one is to avoid buying and selling such items. Regarding haircuts, the Ashkenazi custom is to avoid haircuts throughout the entire 3 weeks, while according to the Sefardim, haircuts are only avoided during the week of Tishe Beav. Regarding laundry, the Ashkenazi custom is to avoid all laundry beginning from the 9 days. The Sefardi custom is to avoid laundry only from the week of Tishe Beav. Regarding weddings, the Ashkenazi custom to avoid weddings throughout the 3 weeks, while according to many Sefardi poskim, it is permitted until the beginning of the 9 days. So now we come to the following question. What do you do in a situation of a year in which Tishe Beav falls on Shabbos and is automatically and consequently deferred to Sunday? When is the week of Tishe Beav? Is there a week of Tishe Beav? Technically, Tishe Beav falls on Shabbos, so you can say that whole week, starting from Motzei Shabbos of the week before, is the week of Tishe Beav, and even Sefardim may not bathe, buy even cheap clothing, get haircuts, perform laundry, etc. And in this way, it would be that there's really no much of a difference between the Ashkenazim and the Sefardim. As Rosh Chodesh, the first of the 9 days, starts on Friday, and Shabbos, anyways, you can't do any of these things. So there's only 1 day difference between the Sefardim and Ashkenazim in such a year. Or do we say that in such a year there is no week of Tishe Beav, as Tishe Beav has been pushed and delayed until Sunday? So the week before is not the week of Tishe Beav. And if so, while the Ashkenazim have to keep all the restrictions that we mentioned against haircuts, laundry, wearing freshly laundered clothing, etc., etc., the Sefardim do not have to keep any of these restrictions at all in such a year, and they may bathe and hand in cold water, they can buy clothing, they don't require shechiyanu, they can get haircuts, they can do laundry, etc. So practically this issue is debated amongst the poskim. How to view such a week? Is it viewed as the week of Tishe Beav, or is it viewed as the week before Tishe Beav? The Mechaber in chapter 551 halacha 4 records both opinions. Some say it is viewed as the week of Tishe Beav, and some say it's not. The Mechaber does not give a final arbitration after he brings the dispute, which leaves us to wonder, so how does he rule, and what should Sefardim do? So many Sefardi poskim rule that the main ruling of the Mechaber is like the first and lenient opinion, that in such a year there is no week of Tishe Beav. Shoulders the Shulchan Gavaya, the Ben Ishchai, Moed Kolchai, Yabia Omer. And this is the Sefardi custom, that in this week they continue doing laundry, they wear freshly laundered clothing, they bathe, and the only restrictions that apply is meat and wine, which in any event they abstain from after Rosh Chodesh and is not connected to the week of Tishe Beav. Nonetheless, as the above Sefaradi poskim emphasize regarding a haircut, it should be avoided during this week. Furthermore, there are some Sephardim who are accustomed to be stringent and consider like the week of Tishe Beav, and every Sephardi communities to do like their custom. But once again, the widespread Sephardi custom is not to consider it the week of Tishe Beav and permit all the things that we said. Now, what about Ashkenazim? So even for Ashkenazim, there's certain things that we're more stringent about in the week of Tishe Beav. How do we rule? And the answer is writes the Magen Avram, that by Ashkenazim we're stringent to consider the week as the week of Tishe Beav regarding all matters that are forbidden from the letter of the law. However, those things are only forbidden the week of Tishe Beav due to a minhag. We are lenient in them during this week. And thus, if there's a bris milah, anyone who's invited can come and eat meat. There doesn't have to be specifically 10 and a good friend, etc. As well as there's no restrictions against cutting nails this week, especially on Erev Shabbos, like Kavod Shabbos, as rules the Magen Avram and other Paiskim, although some limit this only to those who cut their nails every Erev Shabbos.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many Sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.